What's going on, guys? It's Chev, back here over on some more Call of Duty, and Black Ops 6 is getting weirder and weirder. Over the past couple weeks, we've been having a lot of like weird little puzzles and Easter eggs and stuff for the zombies community, especially in particular, to go and search through, breaking down all the little clues and stuff that they have been giving them. Now, me, admittedly, I haven't kept up with it all the way. All I know is that there has been a massive marketing campaign for zombies and like the truth lies and all this other stuff. The very typical like Black Ops and Treyarch type of marketing, where they send people on Easter egg hunts and all this other stuff. They're getting even deeper into it now by involving creators and stuff to help promote those things. Not just promote it just straight off of like, oh, hey, this is what they're saying. They're actually getting involved in the marketing itself. Some of the zombies teasers, they're talking about like CIA documents. They're getting shredded in like these bins and other things like that. There's previews of like the new zombie map, you know, the truth lies and all that stuff. Recently, they ended up releasing another teaser and went to this weird little eerie jingle that had like this cursed ass looking bear. The bear's name is Mr. Peaks, I think. Again, forgive me, I'm not a big zombies guy, but in that video, it's like this cartoon version of Mr. Peaks, and he's just like looking and dancing around on the screen in front of you with the little song playing. But overall, this ends up confirming that the perks, the gobble gum, is coming back along with Mr. Peaks. The one really cool thing about that little preview though is that not only did it show Mr. Peaks in the little jingle and shit that's probably gonna play whenever you're using the gobble gum machine, you have the return of the gobble gum and then also the gobble gum perks and the different types. Now, I remember at one point they were saying that Perkaholic, it was said before that it wasn't going to be in zombies. It was rumored that it wasn't, at least, just from like leaks and data mines and stuff like that. People basically were under the impression that Perkaholic was not going to be in the game, but you can see in the trailer some of the images and icons for all of the perks. Fucking terrible lobby. I've never played on Das Gross before. I'm never playing on that shit again. No wonder everyone skips it. Love Das House. Das Gross is, I can't see shit. See, I didn't play the game during this whole gobble gum thing. Is it like a currency that you end up building up, like you keep them and save them? So for example, people would end up saving a Perkaholic gobble gum in order to just keep it for whenever they start a new run, so they can get all of the perks right at the start, right? I think that's how people are using it and why people want it to return, because it basically speeds up the game for you. You end a round or you end up dying or whatever it may be, you can just go into the next one, pop a Perkaholic, and then you're already set. You've already sped up the process. But apparently it's incredibly rare. But what does incredibly rare mean? I need some zombies people to explain to me. Rare as in like you would find one every like 3 games or something, or what? So the idea is to try to get to the gobble gum machine as much as you possibly can, and then the gobble gum that you get out of there, you can use that round, or you can save it. Am I getting this right? So basically, when you go to the machine and you get a Perkaholic, that shit is like a jackpot. What is this shit? I mean, the frames are really nice on this map. I'll give it that. To get these kinds of frames while recording and everything, I'm usually getting like 20, 30, 40 frames more whenever I'm not recording. So, I mean, unless they ended up changing the icon around and Perkaholic just isn't Perkaholic anymore. It literally showed Perkaholic in that teaser. So, I mean, it's gotta confirm it, right? I mean, there's no way that they would go through all of this like crazy marketing and shit and then just have some kind of like mistake there where it's showing a perk that doesn't exist. I don't see it. Why do they keep spawning here? They keep spawning here! This map is ridiculous. I do appreciate it though. Very unique, I'm loving it. The spawns aren't good, but they're predictable at least. They don't destroy the flow of the map at the very least. It seems like everybody that's even like long-time zombies fans now, given, I mean, they're just excited, it's the Call of Duty cycle, right? The response is very good overall, and that gives me hope. As somebody that isn't really aware if something is good or not, and I don't want to assume, usually I try to gauge off of, you know, the public's response to it, long-time players and new. And generally speaking, people are very excited for this zombies mode, so I'm getting more and more hyped the closer it gets. Also, there's the rumors going around that we might not only get early access to the campaign, but we could also get early access to the zombies mode. Now, personally, I don't know if it's a good idea or not to give people like a week early access to zombies or something like that. So we have like a week or 2 weeks early for the campaign, right? They've been doing this the past couple years in a row. It's worked out really, really well. I've enjoyed it whenever they allowed us to go and immerse ourselves in the universe before we go and play the multiplayer or zombies or whatever. You can kind of engross yourself in the universe by playing the campaign. Now, the question is, as much as I would love to be able to play the zombies, you know, as early as possible, do they benefit by making the zombies early access? Personally, I don't really think so, but I could be wrong. Maybe they would give us early access along with the campaign or whatever. As soon as we get access to it, I'm gonna do the campaign. As you guys know, the campaign will probably be 4 to 6 hours long is my assumption. Cold War was around 4.5 hours or so. Also had a lot of time, so you never know. But they've also had more time than usual to work on this one. There's really no excuses here. We need a full campaign. We need zombies to not be like weirdly unfinished or something. The Vanguard zombies was weirdly unfinished. Multiplayer is almost always a work in progress, you know, but we'll get all of our weapons and maps and all that stuff. From the sounds of it, we're getting a bunch of maps. We're getting like 16 maps or something, which is all good signs. Shows that they actually had time. Will that be the case for the other parts of the game though? Imagine being able to play zombies like a week or 2 weeks ahead, and day one you end up seeing everybody with all their zombies camos and shit. Even some of the super grinders out there might even be able to go and get the mastery camo in a week. Then they spawn in day one of multiplayer. Everybody sees each other finally, and people already have mastery camos. I don't really know if they're gonna go with that. And we also know that they make this game as basically a retention monster. Whether the game is good or bad for the player base, they view good for the player base as in people are playing longer and more people are playing. Now, whether you agree with that, that's your opinion. Just because there's more players doesn't mean that it's a pro consumer or pro player. That's a whole different discussion. My point being, if it doesn't reward them in more player retention, I don't see why they would give us earlier access. If it doesn't result in more player retention, they won't do it. Very simple. Also, we're getting those typical teasers. Multiple pro athletes are now promoting the game and showing pictures of them playing Black Ops 6. Recently, within the last like hour or so, Anthony Edwards ended up posting a picture of him sitting down playing Black Ops 6. Now, you don't see anything or whatever, but you see that on one screen it's Black Ops 6, and then a screen turned away from you, Anthony Edwards is playing. Professional basketball player. There's really nothing that ever really comes from those things, just because, you know, a lot of these pro athletes and stuff, they're not complete avid video game spamming players. They got other shit to do, you know what I mean? Some of them are gamers, don't get me wrong, but there's only so much time you can spend playing it and to even get like a real good idea of whether you like it or not. Very likely response to playing something brand new that other people aren't playing at the time is generally positive. Even if it's not really that great, it's just like, it's a cool experience. So you generally get positive responses from people that get to play things early. Not because they're paid or they're only meant to say good things about it. It's just they're more inclined to say nice things about it. And people are trying to like dissect his posture and the look on his face and shit, trying to determine if he's liking the game or not. It's just completely pointless, man. He probably enjoyed himself. Does he know exactly what he's playing, or how can he extrapolate if it'll be good for the overall player base or whatever? No, even general players can't determine that off rip. We watch how many creators go to all these events and then saying that it feels great and everything, express some issues and stuff, and then we end up getting it and we end up seeing all the issues. The truth is that it's just not enough time to really see all of the issues. I don't think people have like these bad ulterior motives, conspiracies and shit. I just think that people generally have a good time with something whenever they feel like it's something special at the time. Nothing crazy. Some people are theorizing that we're gonna end up getting some more zombies gameplay sometime soon, but regardless, we're gonna be able to play this beta at the end of this month. It's on the 30th, I think. So about 4 weeks from now, we should be at the beta weekend. I don't think we're gonna end up being able to play zombies early. That's just my opinion. And the beta seems to only be a multiplayer beta. Overall, Black Ops 6 seems like it's completely solid. Campaign seems like it's had a lot of time to, you know, cook. Zombies going back to round-based and everything seems like it's full and complete. There's a whole story and everything that they're promoting and teasing. Then multiplayer. We know that we have all those maps. We've seen the omnidirectional movement. They seemed very confident in showing all of the things that they had already showed us over at COD Next. I'm excited.